driving through these.
Hey guys, Ty here. Just want to take a few minutes here and kind of break down a little bit of a product review for you guys on video. We've got dirt nap gear DRT heads. For those of you who know me, I have shot everything from the cheap thunder heads that you can buy at Walmart, Grim Reaper mechanicals, and I've fell in love with the last couple years Slick Trick Magnums. I love Slick Trick's real tough ferrule. Their blades are ridiculously razor sharp when they come, but they are very thin blades. But man, I tell you what, the little slug hole that they create, I haven't had a deer go far with those things at all. But in my research, as some of you guys undoubtedly have, I researched single bevel broadheads. Bill Vail actually is who, Bill Vail and Randy Vanderveen got me kind of interested in single bevel heads. And what single bevel heads are, they're basically a design off of a two-blade broadhead. So you're looking at, basically like an old arrowhead. And a lot of the Indians even did this to where you would hone just one side of each blade. So if you hone this side of the blade on top, it would be this side of the blade that would be honed down below. And what that causes is it actually helps spin some, the arrow, and stabilize it to an extent, but it was really designed like that because when it enters flesh or anything, it actually has to twist in order to keep going. It's not like a blade that's like this, both sides are sharp and it's just going to slice. Whereas in a single bevel head will hit, and whether it hits bone or flesh or whatever, it's going to twist. But especially when it hits bone, and us whitetail hunters, one thing that single bevel heads have over a lot of other heads is the fact that if it hits that shoulder blade, hits that blade area, it's going to hit that thing and it's going to just pop it. I mean, it's just going to twist right on through. And I can remember Bill and Randy saying that, when they switch to those single bevel heads, they're not even afraid of a shoulder shot anymore. Now, while I won't intentionally shoot for a shoulder with these things, it did have me intrigued. So I started watching some of Dr. Ed Ashby's videos, and he's actually got me hooked on high FOC, but he's a fan of single beveled heads as well. So when I heard that Dirt Nap Gear was introducing their broadheads with a single bevel, I was like, you know what, I gotta get a hold of these. I gotta test them out. The thing that I liked about the DRTs more so than your traditional single beveled heads like the Samurai head that I was gonna get from Alaskan Bow Hunting Company, which is awesome heads. The thing I liked about the DRTs is they have the single beveled head, but they have little bleeder blades on each side. So let me pop this open and see if I can't get in close enough to the camera for you guys to see. Alright, so here you can kind of see from that angle, this side is honed, this side is honed. So just, you can see from right there, just one side has the honing. So that blade is going to enter a deer and it's going to want to twist. It's just going to want to twist naturally through it. But unlike some heads where just from that angle is what basically the head looks like I was going to get from Alaskan bow hunting, DRTs have that little bleeder vein, little bleeder blades as I call them, little tiny blades that go each way, and those are just going to help with the hemorrhaging. They're going to cause a little bit bigger wound channel. Basically overall just a great little design, and in a single bevel I couldn't turn it down. I had to try them. I'm going to take my first shots tonight with one. I did get the 125 grain. It's actually a 100 grain head, but they have these little weights that spin on to make it a 125 grain head, so I don't have to change my setup at all because that's what I'm set up at. And yeah, so let's see how these things fly compared to field tips. So my camera actually needed its battery charge and it's already flashing at me, so I'm going to try to keep this kind of short and sweet. Initial thoughts, I kind of shared them with you guys. I was pretty excited about the head. Upon opening it, I wasn't displeased. Unfortunately, as excited as I am for this thing, I don't believe I had it twisted into my bow real odd. I had the 25 grain weight that they give you to slide on there first on it, and now I don't know if maybe gold tip arrows have a different knock, or I mean not a knock but a different insert. My field points fit fine, and when I went to put this on, I apologize for the sound, there is no ability for that to grab it. Alright, you can see I can insert it in and it goes all the way down to the bottom of that weight right there. I then begin to turn the arrow, and it doesn't catch, just spins. So that means down in there, the screw point is too far down. This head is of no use to me right now. I shot it tonight. I took the weight off, and as long as I take the weight off and basically make it a 100 grain head, it was fine. It fits just fine, screws in just fine. Nice, tight, snug. Whew, it is sharp. You gotta really get the sides of that thing. But it does work fine. I mean, it squeezes in there, makes a nice flush point. I have no complaints about that if I was shooting 100 grain arrows, but I don't shoot 100 grain arrows. I actually shoot 125 grain with even weighted inserts inside the gold tip to get me an extra few more percentages of FOC for a harder hitting arrow. So I went ahead and shot it like this without the 25 grain insert. Let me set that down so I don't lose it. I really liked how it flew fine. I mean, the bad thing is I was shooting 25, 30 yards. Actually, it was like 28 yards. And at that distance, that 25 grain extra tip, you know, it hit high. It hit dead on high, a little bit to the right. My only concern while it was in flight was I did hear a little bit. I don't know if it was just maybe that I'm so used to the slick trick sound that I don't notice it. But I did feel like I could hear this thing cutting through the air a little bit, so I don't know. I really want to use this head this year. I love the design. I love just the ability to have the bleeder blades on there. I love the ability to be able to go through not only shoulder but vitals. I mean, let's be honest, any broadhead put in the right place is going to do the trick. There's advantages to single bevel and fixed broadheads when you hit bone. There's an advantage to mechanicals when you go through guts if you hit back too far. But I'm a fan of fixed. I'm exceptionally a fan of the single bevel technology. Just the science behind it I believe in, whether you do or not. These DRT heads, I would not hesitate to use them. I would just caution you, if you use 125 grain setup, it may cause an issue for you. I shoot gold tip pro hunters right now, 7595s, and so I don't know again if it's a gold tip issue or if it's a DRT issue. I highly doubt it's the DRT issue. I think they're probably just designed for a different insert. So maybe next year if I go to 100 grain, I'll just add more weight on the inside of my arrow, which I could do this year. I have weights downstairs, but it's getting awful close to the season. I don't really want to mess with my setup that much, but I really think next year I'm going to end up doing that though, because I really want to shoot these heads, and who knows, I may even get the itch to do that yet this year, because I really want to shoot these heads. I really like them, so I do recommend them. Sorry this review got really long. I do tend to ramble, but yeah, I think I might actually ask my dad if he wants to try these heads out, because he does shoot 100 grain heads where I shoot 125, so it wouldn't be an issue for him. He also shoots gold tips. So this is Ty, Small Acre Hunting, Dirt Nap Gear, DRT, or otherwise known as Dead Right There broadheads. I recommend them. I just have a couple caveats or cautions, and that's make sure that you either shoot 100 grain tips or you make sure that the 125 grain version of it with the weighted insert is going to work in your arrows. Maybe contact them first. I really want to use these heads, but I just can't with the 125 grain problem. So this is Ty, Small Acre Hunting. God bless and good luck out there.
Driving through these old rolling hills to the closest place to heaven I know. Heading north through Kentucky to the only place I'll ever call home. I'm leaving the bluegrass